today I will be filming probably 2 lots of The Music Box from Hell by Emil Petaja. Still don't know how to pronounce the name. My apologies. Just because, Teddy and I apologise for our long absence from Wine and Weird Tales, and this session in particular will be Water and Weird Tales. Later on I might drink something a little extra. Did I read this? Here we go. Okay. Sorry. Alright, so when last we left off, he was being really mean to his aunt about spending money. Her own money. Because that's just what some people are like. All in a rush, Rolf remembered the music box, so with an awkward show of affection, he bent down and pecked at Aunt Audrey's withered cheek. Anyway, he tittered nervously, I can't go downtown now. I happened to pass an antique shop, and so I went in and bought something for you. Now was a good time to do it, Rolf thought, his crafty eyes roving. The maid was gone for the day. No one would be calling. Besides, he wanted to be able to send the thing back to the shop tomorrow morning, so he wouldn't have to pay for it. He brought the oddly carved box in and set it down on the table, just in front of his aunt's chair. A present? For me? No. What a prick. Not the aunt, Rolf. Aunt Audrey was incredulous and excited as a girl. Why, this is so sweet of you, Rolf. She sat back in her chair, dabbing at her eyes with a lace handkerchief. Overcome with emotion, so Rolf did love her, after all, to bring her such a beautiful gift. It's a music box, Rolf explained nervously, and in a cracked voice he called out the demon's name. He looked at Where are we? He looked a last look down at her grey head, and his thin lips parted in a ghoulish leer. Aunt Audrey sat back in her chair, a blissful smile on her face. A gift from Rolf! Why, surely she had misjudged him all these years. The fearful song spawned in the gathering gloom, the moaning wind, the banshees keening, the falsely sweet melody, ... I've got to get out of here, Rolf muttered, and I've got to get out of here, Rolf muttered and fled. Aunt Audrey leaned forward, listening intently, a sparkle in her blue eyes. Rolf took a last backward glance, then ran up the swirling stairway. He didn't want to be caught in the web of that unholy song from hell. Rolf spent half an hour upstairs, gloating like the little prick that he is. Now the whole estate was his, Mace Mansion, and the park surrounding it, all Aunt Audrey's securities, and her lovely dollars in the bank, ... It must be all over by now, he told himself triumphantly, and sped down the stairs. It took only one glance in the little parlour to tell him that something had gone wrong. Blazing rage took possession of Rolf as he saw that his Aunt Audrey still sat there in her chair, placid and smiling. He cursed as he ran to her, and the fury in his eyes made the old lady shiver. He turned to the music box. He turned to the music box with... Jeez. He turned to the music box, which was still venting its uncanny song, which had now become incredibly soft and sinister, like the hissing of serpents. It's a fake! It's fake! Rolf shrieked, sobbing with disappointment. Oh, the baby. The box hasn't any supernatural power. The antique shop owner tricked me. Aunt Audrey seemed to be smiling, as if she knew. I'll fix it. I'll fix it! Cried Rolf, striding to the table and reaching for the box. I'll break it in a million pieces! What was happening? His hands trembled, refusing to touch the box. It was his ears. Something was wrong with his ears. God, what? Searing pain severed his brain. In one brief flash, knowledge came to him, but by then it was too late. It was the music, the demon's song. Its unhallowed patterns had woven about his brain and ensnared it. Just in that brief, unwary moment, and now his mind was incapable of thinking coherently. It couldn't remember the word that would stop the music and free him, nor could his mind direct his leg muscles to act, to run. ... Everything blurred in his sight, the rococo wallpaper, patterns blended into one, empurpled smear. The prim little parlour became the vortex of a maelstrom. Rolf clutched at his throat involuntarily. The music went wild, chaotic, then reached a monstrous climax. Hello, is anybody home? An odd little figure in a frock coat and white side whiskers peeked into the silent parlour. His shoe-button eyes saw Aunt Audrey sitting quietly in her chair, watching the blue gas flame. Then they saw the music box on the table. The little man uttered an improbable word. The demonic music stopped. Forgive my unseemly intrusion, the little man said, stepping toward Aunt Audrey's chair. I've been knocking on your door for hours, it seems. I wouldn't have burst in this way, only it's terribly important. You see, I contracted... You see, I contracted to sell a young man who lives at this address a music box, and... He paused to stare vaguely down at a peculiar green splotch on the faded carpet, then went on. I've thought it over carefully and decided that this particular music box is not to be sold, ever. In fact, I've decided to burn it. Alright. Where are we? My nephew is, the old lady began. So you are the aunt he was buying it for? The little man shook his head and clucked his tongue indignantly. I can see how right I was to come here. So you're the lady who dotes on antiques and music. Well, well, I practically bankrupted myself because I couldn't bear to part with my treasures. You and I have mutual manias. So it would seem logical that we... Aunt Audrey stopped him with a merry laugh. You might just as well stop talking, sir, she exclaimed. I can't hear a word you're saying. My nephew, who seems to have gone out, bought me this lovely old music box. Of course, I couldn't hear it either. She sighed wistfully. I just know it plays some lovely Mozart melody. You see, sir, the battery in my hearing aid went dead this afternoon, and dear Rolf didn't seem to want to spare the money to buy another. 'Cause he's a little shit. She sighed wistfully. I just know it plays some lovely Mozart melody. You see, sir, the battery in my hearing aid went dead this afternoon, and dear Rolf didn't seem to want to spare the money to buy another. The end. So it would seem that in the tradition of being slightly disappointed by things lately, we have another disappointment. On the upside, we get to start another story tonight. I think I won't bother with a poll on Twitter or anywhere else because, well, no one gives a fuck on Twitter. some people give a fuck on Instagram, but you know, yeah, whatever. I'm just gonna choose a story. Sorry, guys. But you know, while we're here, let's talk about it. So what was this? This was the May 1945 edition, the Music Box from Hell. I'm just gonna move away from this before the disappointment becomes bitter. Alright, here we go. 1945. So what are we moving on to? We're moving on to 1946. And we've got January, September, and November. Let's have a look at January, should we? Okay. Well, the first story is by Quint. I know he writes some pretty messed up tales of debauchery, torture, some pretty sick shit. His story is Curbin. I have no idea what it's about. Number 2 is Chariots of San Fernando, Sin's Doorway, Seed, Mr. Bauer and the Atoms. I might choose that one. Satan's Phonograph. Yeah, I kind of want to kind of want to choose that one, but the Hell Demon motif is a little disappointing at this point. Okay, where are we? Pikemen, the divisions of... My lights are fading. Where was I? Pikemen, the divisions of Gomorrah, all the time in the world, recaptured, and then the typical superstitions and taboos, the Irie and the Weird Tales Club, and then the cover. I don't know, I think I'll just, choose one and surprise you. I feel really let down. Okay, well, no, I hope you enjoyed the Music Box from Hell. It sure was written well, good writing. Let's hope for a better story next time. Okay, if you've joined me for this, thanks for joining me. I will start filming tonight on the next weird tale. Could be from the list that I just read, could be from September or November. I've got some other things I want to say, but this is not the time or place. I might film something else too. Thanks for joining me.